Hello YouTube. Promised another martial vlog today. Got a couple of swords, one full-length katana, one wakizashi, which means roughly the same as short sword. I'm gonna need to work on that. Right now the jacket isn't zipped up or anything. I'm gonna do it before I practice with the swords. And, of course, a staff. Now, you've already seen me work with a staff. You know I can use it pretty much second-handedly. Now, like I was showing inside the video earlier, block, hit. I mean, a staff really is meant to attack and defend at the same time. You can block one person's attack and use that into an attack on someone else. Staves are that versatile. But today's video is not meant for stabs. So, I'm going to zip this up, button the sleeves, make sure nothing's too loose, that way I don't have a catch on my jacket like I did with the wakizashi. My eyes are cut off from the video. Hello. No. I've never been classically trained, which means all I know is what I try to imitate from what I see inside games and movies, which is a very amateur thing to do, but that's all I have because I don't know anyone that actually knows how to use a sword that would be willing to train me. For one simple reason. Everyone wants money, and that's something I don't have a lot of. But still, I'd say I've learned enough to get by for now. After all, it's not like in the days of Sword and Shield where I need to know how to use a sword in order to survive. A gun, that's another thing, but I'm not really a gun user. I know how to, and I can hit bullseye at frickin' 50 paces with a pistol, but probably not 50. Maybe 30, 20. Now, in days past, I do, see, that's what I mean by I was ever trained. I do know there were ninja clans and samurai clans that practice with two wakizashis like this, or one wakizashi like this, and the other like this. I mean, there are a bunch of different fighting styles. If you include dual wielding, there's even more. So, we're going to stick to standard one sword styles. Now, there are tales of wakizashi users who would use shields, but I don't know any of those styles. Now, standard katana stance is that, but wakizashi seems a little stupid with the stance. Just wakizashi just seems like a kid's sword in the stance. It seems like a dagger more than anything. So, let's see. This is a pure mock sword. It wouldn't last inside of a real fight for more than 5 seconds, I'd imagine. I say that because even if you can't see it on video, right here along the blade, I'm gonna see if I can get that on camera. Yeah, you see those characters? That's the same characters that were on the sword inside of The Last Samurai with Tom Cruise. And if I remember correctly, it means along the lines of there is a god and a man with purpose, something towards that effect. But like I said, this is a pure mock sword. It's a prop more than anything. It wouldn't last inside an actual fight. Now, I was recently told the actual name of the sword style that the character Mitsurugi uses inside Soul Calibur, but for the life of me, I can't think of the name right now. If you go to my liked videos, there's a couple of sword videos in there that I'm going to attempt to do at least one or two of the things I saw inside of it. Now, something you might see Mitsurugi do, though, is go into a stance like this, which is called Moonshadow stance inside the game, but I don't know what the actual name of the stance is. And from there, you didn't even see that. Another thing he does inside that stance now, again, because I've never been trained, the only things I have are things that are amateurish, at best. I cannot use a katana in any of the classic styles. If I were to use the style I developed, then yes, I can use it. For the style I developed, it's really just a reaction stance. This stance is just this. And you react to the battle as you need to. But I don't have a sparring partner, so I can't show you what that looks like. Unfortunately. For now, though, let's see if I don't cut myself. I aimed to stop right at the screen area, and I stopped like right here. What I meant to do was stop like near camera. Whoa. Why is that yellow on the camera? Now, the tip's a little messed up. I kind of ran it into a wall one day. And I did my best to try sharpening the tip back up, but it never took. Now, all of my swords, everyone, as I said in my vlog about a week ago, has a battle edge. Meaning, the weight of the sword itself shouldn't cut me. Yeah, no cut. But if I were to apply force and drag it, it would cut my hand clean through. A battle edge is something you want on anything meant for protection. Because then, the only way it's going to cut you is by putting force in and dragging. No cut there either. This one is a bit sharper than the other one, though this one has more of a keen edge to it. It will cut me if I let the weight of the sword pull. Unless I do this. I can press as hard as I want right here, it won't cut me. Back of the blade. Now the wakizashi, in my opinion, is a bit easier to use, just because its balance is much more towards the hand, because it has a fake ivory handle. Yeah, it's called faux ivory. You can tell because it has a mold mark here. Either way, though, I paid $45 for this sword, and for my full-length katana, I bought it and 6 other swords for $100. All of my swords are for display purposes because none of them can actually last in a fight, except for my bayonet. My bayonet is issued pre-World War I, and I found it inside of our attic at our old house. Now, whenever I found it, it was covered in rust, absolutely covered. But using steel wool and a bladesman's rag, I think it's called. It's essentially a rag that has steel fibers inside of it that you can apply chemicals to, meant to take out rust, and it does it. It polishes the blade. I think it's called a bladesman's rag, but I'm not sure. Ugh. Now this here has its own battle scar. I was sparring with it against someone who had my iron staff, and I essentially made a nice little sword handle for it. But that's not why I made this video. Now I'm going to use the heavy iron staff. Don't you hate when that happens? Get dirt stuck in the bottom of your staff. There we go. Keep in mind, this thing weighs only about 8 pounds to 12 pounds. So it's not that heavy. But still, when you're spinning it around, well, I turned this event and have heat too. When you're spinning it around, you have centrifugal force applying. Now, granted, it makes it easier on the uptake. It'll swing itself into the air. That's on its own weight. That's not even me putting force behind it. If I was putting force behind it, it's going much higher. Example. Its own weight. Weight behind it. And on the downtake, though, it gets heavier. Case in point. Oh. Oh, whoa. Right here. Oh. That feels like I'm swinging about 30 pounds around. So, pick your weapon before you do something like this, because you pick something too heavy, it could slip out of your hand and hurt yourself or others, or you might mess up and it's happened to me before. It hurts a lot. If you've ever ridden your bike into a pole, it feels like that. Now, this is Marshall Vlog either 2 or 3. And in hand-to-hand, I'm classically trained in Taekwondo. I have some training in Muay Thai and some training in Kenpo. Now, one of the few things I know in Kenpo is from this stance. I don't know the name of it, don't ask. But if a person goes to punch you, you can take that hand, dislocate the arm, elbow in the head, or if it's from the other side, grab arm bar, put up, punch in the spine, head, out. Another thing you can do, they'll punch you, grab them, go like this. From the other side, that's, you grab their hand, reach under like this, and you have their throat in your right hand. And from there, you can actually throw them. Now, granted, it won't actually be that fast, but using leverage, you can pull them onto your shoulder and throw them onto the ground in front of you. One of the few things I know in Muay Thai is actually just the stance. Ten God Mui. I don't know much besides this and a couple of elbow strikes. But when it comes to Taekwondo, I got to black belt before I quit the dojo. They weren't crediting my lessons, and I wasn't able to progress my lessons because I was late by like 5 minutes to 3 of the lessons out of a whole month. And so they wouldn't credit my lessons, and they weren't letting me take the belt exam for the next levels. But let's see, Taekwondo. They had just this for a fighting stance in that. The standard fighting stance that you see. One of the stances I remember. That was just at our dojo. Another one I saw. Oh, whoa. That shows you haven't done this in a while. I'll get it. Now, like I said, I haven't done that in a long time, so I'm bound to mess up, but I'm going to get back into the practicing. I may have a job opportunity here in a little bit, and once I start getting paid, I'm going to set back $100 out of every paycheck, and in a month or two after that, I'll be able to buy an Xbox One and stream directly to Twitch or directly to YouTube from that. When that happens, I will post a video letting all of you know, and my Twitch account is RELLIKXODUS447. If I remember correctly. I will check back and say for sure in tomorrow's vlog a day. But at 17 minutes, this is Carl Exodus signing off. Marshall vlog, I think 3. Later, YouTube.